Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the match previews. It's good to be back. It's good to finally get into talking about Chelsea again because it's probably been one of the most boring international breaks that we've had in recent memory, which, I mean, is a good thing. It means that there's no chaos going on. It means we don't have to hear anything about civil wars. Will this guy get sacked? Will he not get sacked? We haven't had a lot to really worry about. There's been some talks about like United inquiring about Nkunku, but I mean, yeah, good luck. And other than that, there's been absolutely nothing else. So it's good to just get back to the football, especially with the run of games that we have coming up. So get involved. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But before we start, as always, we do have to shout out the sponsor. So big up to Omely. Shout out to the guys with Omely. It's time to get in the game. Omely brings fans together like never before and allows them to take center stage, whether you want to host a live show, jump in as a guest, listen in, or simply connect with other passionate supporters. Omely is the place where true football conversations happen. The game doesn't just belong to the pundits, it belongs to the fans. And with Omely, every fan has a voice in real time. This platform isn't just where you follow the game, the news, you live it. And the more you engage, the more recognition you earn. So if you're ready to be a part of something bigger, download Omely today and let's bring football fans back home. But speaking of bringing back home, the Chelsea is back on our screens. And also back with my co-host, big up Kev. I hope you've enjoyed the break.
Yeah, enjoyed the break. I haven't followed any international football like most of us. It's just a bit of a boring proposition, let's say. Obviously, England beat Ireland 5-0. Palmer was in the international squad, which is good. Hopefully, he's back in contention for Saturday. But
I
yeah,
don't
man,
even
it's been a
remember
good
the
break.
other England game. Who did they play? Was
Been a
it
good break.
Greece? It was Greece. Yeah, random
Played
3
Greece
0
as well,
win.
yeah. Yeah, Greece,
Yeah.
5 and a 3-0 win. So it's good news for England, obviously, with Tuchel taking over in March. So there's a long break now from this boring international football. Hopefully now it's the business, the money part of the season coming into the Christmas period. It's going to be 2 games a week. Hopefully we're not getting any injuries. Well, Reece James will
Yeah.
be out.
What a
Lavia,
what a
Keston, but obviously
segue, in
we'll
it?
touch on that shortly. Yeah.
Because yeah, we got to talk about Reece James being out injured
Yeah.
again, and I
Yeah.
feel terrible for him. I really do, because just before we went live, I've seen him drop a statement on his Instagram. Where was it? So this was the original quote from Maresca saying, "Hopefully it's not something long. We think it's a short-term one, but it seems like he's going to be out." And then just recently, he dropped this statement saying, "Hello guys, I hope and wish you're all well. This message is to the people that understand and have respect for what I'm going through. I appreciate you so much. Your support and kind messages go further than you could ever imagine. Just to touch on me, I'm doing okay. Been better, also been worse. Another challenge ahead, accepted. Eventually I'll come out on top against all odds. Lastly, I'd like to touch on the festive period coming. These times are tough for everybody. Wish you guys a happy and peaceful festive season." But yeah, clearly, and this setback has kind of got to him a little bit. And I've seen people asking, like, why
Yeah.
would he drop a statement like this if it was a minor injury? But I think there's just been a lot of backlash just off the fact that it's Reece James and he's out injured again. And we thought we just got past all of this. And as soon as we get like just a run of appearances from him, he's back injured again. But look, Maresca's said that it's a
Mm.
short term thing. We have heard it before, but it might be a bit of hopium, but I'm really just trying to believe that it's just a short-term injury because this is killing me.
Yeah.
This is genuinely killing me. Like, we all know
Yeah.
Reese's level, we know his ability, we know how good he is when he's fit, but we just can never get a run of games. And I'm
Yeah.
glad he dropped this statement as well, because it's good to see things from a player perspective. As much as it's frustrating for us, times a million for Reece James, because I'm just getting back and I've got another hamstring injury. It's frustrating,
Yeah.
but how are you feeling
Yeah.
about this? Because I'm willing
Mm.
to wait a couple weeks, even though I'm just worried that we're doing the same thing that we
Yeah.
did from the last couple months ago. But I just don't want to believe it's another long term thing.
I'm not gonna lie, Lewis. I'm tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it now. I just feel like we give him opportunity after opportunity to sort this issue out. He's had the surgery. He's come back.
Oh.
Got injured again. Come back. Now he's injured again. So the surgery hasn't worked. Obviously, with the cold weather, it takes you a long time for your muscle tissues to warm up. Is he doing the right preparation? Is he getting the right massage, the right treatment for? I just don't know. I don't get it. If someone like myself, I used to suffer with hamstring injuries in my playing days, and I used to wear cycling shorts, and that was just to warm the muscles up pre-game. Is it? I just don't get it. There's so much things we can look at and touch upon to why he's getting these injuries, but I just feel like it's going to be an occurring injury for him. I don't feel like he's going to recover. I just feel like he's going to keep on repeating. So personally, I'll just give up with it now, Lewis. I feel like if a team were to come up with the offer, just get him gone.
Is that the final straw?
It's done. It's done. Just think about it. He had the surgery, come back pre-season. He got injured, missed the start of the season. He's just come back. Now he's injured again. He's not reliable.
I really want to just believe it's part of the setback. Because if we look at Lavia, for example, as well, he came back, had a little knock. We reintegrated him back into the squad in time for the Liverpool game. Same thing with Reece James. Yeah. He had a knock coming out of the Arsenal game. And he's also a doubt for the game on Saturday too. Now, I know, James, we've had this problem for years. So it's a bit of a different one compared to Lavia. But do you not feel like, and again, I'm really trying to find something to believe in with this one, but do you think it's just like another downside to just him returning back from injury? And it's just, as long as it's minor, it could be something that we could work with, just as long as he's fit for the second half of the season.
You got to think of it like this. The guy's played minimal minutes in the games that he's come back. I think he's featured in 5 games, and he's probably played half a game a couple of times. He's played 2 90-minute games.
Arsenal. He didn't even start.
Yeah, so there you go. He's not even playing 2 games a week. He's not even playing a full game, and he's back out. So I have no hope in it, Lewis. I've done, like, the last time he had the injury, I said, you know what, I thought this time he's going to come back and he's going to stay fit, and within a few weeks again he's out. I have no hope for him now. And it's bad to say because, like I said, undoubtedly the best right back in the world when he's fully fit, but he can't stay fit. And what I'm thinking is as well, we've got Gusto. Imagine if Gusto gets injured now. Who are we going to play right back? Disassi? So we've got to think now. Gusto's got to stay fit now, because if Gusto's injured, that's the right side down. So I feel like we need to get another right back. I feel like,
I mean, all Action has to do is just re-sign the contract, because like your pathway is so obvious. You would have had minutes in the Conference League, we say, from Disassi at right back, but you ain't signed the contract. So until then, it's just Gusto and Disassi again. It's like, oh boy.
Yeah, it's hard work. It's hard work. I just feel like give Reece turns of the season. We all know he's probably going to pick up a couple of hamstring injuries on the way. If the team comes up with an offer, just get him gone, buy a new right back. I feel it's sad to say. I say this with a bad heart, because Reece James I love the guy. He's Chelsea through and through.
For anyone in the chat, it's not hate or nothing. It's not
hate. Well, look at this. If you're not fit enough to do, think about it. If we're not fit enough to do our job, we get sacked. The guy's not fit enough to do his job. It's blatantly obvious. So we've got to look at other alternatives, mate, because it's going to keep on going into. This is the 3rd season now of these injuries. Do we want to go into the 4th season with the same issues occurring? It's too long now, brother.
It's just a shame. Yeah. It's just a real shame. Yeah. Now, I hope he can turn things around. I really do, because it is still a long season, and as long as it's a minor injury, I would hope that would be the end of it. But here I am also understanding that, like, Chelsea fans have been so patient over the last 4 years. They've been so patient with this guy, not just because he's a Cobham grad, but because we all know his quality. This man is one of, if not the best right backs in the world. Forget the league when he's fit. But it's those last 3 words, when he's fit. And it'll be a real shame if he can't overturn this hamstring injury, but it's got to a point now where we just have to wait, and we have to see where we are at the end of the season. If he can't get to about 19 appearances, it's what it is.
Yeah.
Genuinely is what it is. But
unfortunately.
Away from the Reece James situation, onto Leicester City versus Chelsea, because in spite of James being injured or not, I wouldn't have even cared if we didn't play him in this game anyway, because I look at the state of both teams going into this game and I can't feel anything but confident going into this game, because Leicester are not in good form. They haven't won their last 3 games. Their only draw in those 3 games was against a 10-man Ipswich, literally in the last minute. And they didn't look like scoring up until that point anyway. They were getting bopped off by Ipswich. They've got their own injury crisis. If we talk about Leicester going into the game, Fatawu's out for the rest of the season with an ACL injury. Jordan Ayew's been one of their key players this season, is out as well. Jamie Vardy is back in training, but he's a bit of a doubt. It'll all depend on whether he thinks he's ready for the game or not. Buonanotte suspended. Decordova Reid being monitored. Ricardo Pereira out as well. And also, we're not even taking into account that they have arguably the worst manager in the league in Steve Cooper. They're already done with him. So I look at this.
Well,
like, don't make this difficult. This shouldn't be a difficult game at all.
The 15th place, though, the 1-2, they beat Southampton. And they beat Southampton, and they beat
Southampton. There was another one in the run of 5 games leading up to this. Who was it? So it was Bournemouth. They beat Bournemouth 1-0 at home. That's more surprising. Southampton was down to 10 men, and like Southampton are trash too. So not shocked.
I was speaking to a fan earlier because I've done a preview on the Leicester channel earlier, and they're absolutely done with the guy. I believe that they want to give him to the end of the season and stay up. But in contrast to what they witnessed last season, they've gone from a Ferrari to a Fiesta with the tactics and everything. We all know Cooper's a very direct manager in the way he wants to play. It's simply get the ball in the channels and get the ball. There's no tactics.
No, I was saying their best football comes from the rest of the muscle memory. And if you're doing that, like, they already don't believe in you. They're going back to the old manager's tactics.
No, they don't. Yeah. And I don't think with the managerial decision start of the season, I think they rushed into it. I think obviously Enzo left them in a bad position when he left them, and they rushed into it. There was rumours of Graham Potter coming in. They couldn't quite get that over the line, and they've gone for the next thing that was available, which is Cooper. But they haven't done the homework. When you've gone from the style of football Maresca is playing to the style of football now, it's totally different. So for me personally, they should have brought in a manager that plays a similar style of football. They've gone for the total end of the spectrum. So the fans are not happy, but the 15th place, they've got a good chance of staying up. Obviously, the injuries haven't been good to them, but we'll see. I think with Leicester, they should be happy to stay up. That's the priority for them. Doesn't really matter about the style of football. Staying up for them, staying up in the Premier League is a priority. So I think they should give Cooper a bit more time.
I don't know about that. I'll be so real. Because here's the thing. I'm universally, any Leicester fan I see, I talk to, I read, they cannot be bothered for this, brother. And I kind of understand, like, they've reverted from Maresca's style of play to a manager who plays a completely different brand of football. The players already don't believe in it. The manager already looks like he's on borrowed time. Also doesn't help that he came from a rival as well. He literally went from Nottingham Forest to Leicester. Like, you couldn't have picked a worse club to join afterwards than that. I'll be so real. Like, the sooner they get rid of him, the better. I was speaking to a Newcastle, to a Leicester fan on a separate channel as well, and he was saying the exact same thing. Until Steve Cooper's sacked, people are not with it because he's given them absolutely nothing to go by. And the fact that they haven't got rid of him yet, perfect. It suits us sensationally. I've spoke to them about the way they play as well, and it's apparently all just like right side heavy. And I got told specifically, whoever's playing on the left is going to have an absolute field day. And I mean, performing forward is going to be playing on the left-hand side. So if
Neto.
anyone watching, get your bets on a Pedro Neto goal or Jadon
Yeah.
Sancho if he's fit enough to play in that game too.
I believe 8 goals they've conceded have come from that left-hand side.
Apparently, every goal they conceded against United last game.
From the left-hand side, and it's because they play a 5 at the back system. And I think it's Justin pushes far too up the pitch, and it leaves a space down there on the flank for teams to expose. And that's where Garnacho had a field day, cut inside, whipped the ball into top bins in their last game at Old Trafford. So yeah, obviously I think Enzo would have done his homework, and I thought if we play Cucurella and Neto down that side there, they'll have a field day. They should have a field day on Saturday.
Same. I look at everything set up, and I don't like going into games too overconfident, but I don't even think we could be our own worst enemy in this sort of game. Like, the only thing that could really, really screw us is hideous 22-23 Chelsea levels of finishing and just your standard Sanchez Bozo moment, because I still don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet in this game anyway. One thing I've seen with Leicester, they've scored in every home game this season. Even though they're telling me like they got no hope for that, we're probably going to give them something stupid at some point in the game. It just shouldn't be enough to really cause any heart attack, because the midfield, I don't care. The attack, I dare you go there and give Hermansen a clean sheet. Hermansen's a great goalkeeper, I will say. Like, that's one of their key players who will probably still be available for that game. Other than that, like, I think Mavididi maybe, but Patson Daka doesn't worry me. Like, Daka was one of their biggest problems last season when they were going up for promotion, because he was just so wasteful in some of the games they dropped points in. So, like, the biggest question just comes more down to selection, because there's been a talk about a midfield dilemma going into this match. Caicedo's only just returned. Enzo's only just returned. Lavia's a question mark, even though we haven't heard that he's out of this game anyway. Whether he starts will be a different question. But even then, I'm thinking, like, if none of them play 90 minutes and they all still have involvement in the game, that's enough for me. Don't care. It's more than enough.
Yeah. And I feel like with Lavia, I wouldn't rush him back. He left international duty with Belgium to come back to Cobham early. Don't rush him back. Just give him a week or so and maybe start him in the next game. For me personally, it'd be Enzo and Caicedo. Just play it safe. Play 2 players that are fully fit. Their midfield shouldn't give us any problems. They've got Ndidi, he's been there a long time. He's a decent player, but we should have a field day in the middle of the park. One selection that you probably have a question over is who's going to play in the cam. And I feel like Nkunku deserves a chance. I actually feel like Nkunku deserves a chance behind Jackson. Obviously, there's been talk about United putting a bid in for him. He's not happy. Give him a run of games now. Let him prove himself, because he hasn't. Palmer is 50-50 anyway, isn't he? I think he got a knock against Arsenal. Yeah, he got a knock against Arsenal, didn't he? So that's why he never went to international. No, he got a knock against. He wasn't fully fit anyway after the United game. He played the Arsenal game, but he wasn't 100%. So that's why he wasn't part of the England setup. So there's question marks over his fitness anyway. If he does play, I'll play him on the right. I think like Madueke. The last few games, he hasn't really done much, if you ask.
I think at this point, Noni's only playing because of the defensive attributes that he has, because he's good at tracking back. And I think that's still vital to the way Maresca wants to play on that side. But that's it. And I think that's what he's got over Cole Palmer. But that's why if Sancho's fit, I put Neto on the right and then have Palmer in the middle. And then you can drop Noni, because at the very... I know Neto's going to do the defensive work. He does both sides very well.
Oh, yeah. I just feel like there's got to be a place for Nkunku. I feel like he scored a wicked goal against France. If you've seen it for France in the week, brilliant goal. I just feel like give the guy a chance. I feel like him behind a Jackson with a Palmer and Neto either side, that would be a brilliant three just behind the striker. So let's give him a chance. Obviously, I'm not quite sure if it will happen, but if the guy's not happy, give him a chance, see what happens, and then obviously we can judge him once he has a run of games.
Yeah, like for me, that would be the only change I would ideally make. Obviously, depending on the midfield. With Nkunku, I expect him to get opportunities anyway. Like, we've got 9 fixtures in December. Conference League ends midway through that. You still have games like Southampton midweek. I would assume Nkunku gets integrated back into the squad for that. Jackson will get a 5th yellow card. We already know he's going to beef with the ref or some silliness and get a yellow, and that'll be him out. And then around the Christmas period, I think it's Everton away, Fulham at home Boxing Day, Ipswich away just before the turn of the new year. And who is it after that? So it's Crystal Palace away. He will play at least 2 games within that run. So I think there'll be Premier League opportunities for him anyway. That's why all the rumors about him potentially being unsettled, I never thought was going to be that deep anyway. For now, he's not getting into the first team. By the end of the season, it could be a completely different question. Like, the only one that you could say wouldn't even be that worried about, it's just one of the players who's going back to the King Power, and that's Dewsbury Hall. Because I feel bad for him. Well, I feel bad for him in the sense of he's never getting minutes. He will never. That's what it is.
Nah, he's basically a squad player, isn't he? And I couldn't believe it when he played right wing against Newcastle. You're playing a box-to-box midfielder on the right. So it baffles me why we even signed him. I just don't get the meaning behind it. But he's brought in, let's be real, he's brought in as a squad player. And maybe he gets an opportunity on Saturday against his whole team. Obviously, the Leicester fans were a bit upset the way he left, signed a new contract, and he was gone within a few months. So, yeah, Dewsbury Hall.
Yeah, Dewsbury Hall's got one of the better. He'll get the better reception out of all 3 of them, to be honest. Maresca's going to be very iffy because Leicester fans never really liked the style of play. It was one of those things you like when you're winning and you don't like when you're not winning. And Fofana, we already know, public enemy number 1.
Yeah, he's going to get battered. He's going to get battered. But look, the Leicester fans cannot be naive. When a team like Chelsea comes knocking on the door, you're gone. Look how many players you took off him. Kante, Chilwell, Dewsbury Hall, Drinkwater, Fofana, Dewsbury Hall. We've taken a lot of players of them in the last few years. And
I don't think Maresca left in a bad way. Like, Fofana left in a bad way. Chilwell left in a bad way. That's about it, really.
Yeah.
When you really
Leicester fans will say Leicester fans will say different though, wouldn't they? That's how it is. But yeah, man, it is what it is. I think with Maresca, he basically apparently he's going on tour to USA. He cancelled the tour, left, and then went on tour to the USA with us. So he literally put him right in
I
it.
get that. But even then, I feel like that's just bad luck. Like, you're planning for next season, and then Chelsea knocking. You're like, yeah, sorry guys. If he was at Chelsea that early, I don't think he'd stop the US tour, but I think he'd stop going to like 5 different time zones or like all of that stupidness, because it never seems to help us. You go from one city to the other, and it's all different time zones and different match days at different times. It doesn't help. Maybe he'd just have us in like one state or one time zone and just leave it there and keep it stepping. But I mean, it wasn't necessarily going to be a bad idea. The only problem for Leicester is that he didn't get the right appointment. If you got Graham Potter, completely different Leicester. Like, that team is good enough to stay up. Their manager's just trash. Like, they are where we are last season, just to an even worse extent. It's like, the sooner you sack him, the better. Problem with Leicester is you don't know if they're going to do it or not. Brendan Rodgers lasted all the way to like March, April. When if they sacked him 2-3 months earlier, they're staying up. They're not going down. They left it way too late. Now we're hearing Steve Cooper's got till January. You lot haven't learned a damn thing. And like,
but it's tight. It's tight down the bottom, Lewis. You got to think about it. If they pick up a couple of results, which they probably could do, they could be in the top half of the league. From 15th, 14th, look at Man United. They was 14th, won a couple of games. Now they're back up in contention for Champions League. So it's very tight down there. So giving him a chance. Yeah, very big if, but sometimes you have to give the manager a chance. Obviously, he's been given a lot of big talk saying they're going to get better, this and that. It hasn't got better, but injuries haven't done them well. So maybe there could be a turnaround. But I think the right thing for Leicester to do is give him till January.
If he gets the results, I'd hear it.
Yeah.
You know me. I'm gonna keep
That's
the
what,
same energy I have with managers. You deliver the
yeah,
results, I understand, or even a brand of football. From what I'm looking,
yeah,
it says a lot when the team is only doing well when they revert back to the tactics of the last manager that you're trying to move on from. That says a
yeah,
damn lot about where you are as a coach. And like
yeah,
everything I'm seeing, get rid
yeah.
of him immediately. Get rid of
You
him
can't, you can't,
ASAP.
co- you can't copy and paste what another manager does. When you come into a team, your philosophy has to wash up on the team. Look at Almiron. You see that Man United, the players coming out straight away saying top training session. I've seen the video, a couple of clips of his training sessions. You can see already the players are believing in it. With Keeper, what is he bringing to that training ground? You can't copy and paste what another manager's got. You've got to be able to embed your way and your thinking and your ideas on the training ground. And I don't think Leicester. It's a bit like Pochettino last season. What was we? Was we a pressing team? Was we a counter team? Was we a play? It was mixed up. There was no structure. You know what I'm trying to say? And it's the same in Leicester this season. But obviously they've got worse players. So that's what it is. That's where we are. No, you call, but you call. That's where we are.
Yeah, like that's a them problem, thankfully, and it's even more
Yeah,
refreshing to look back at it because it
yeah,
shows where we are now. Because I look at Maresca and the way he's handled Chelsea this season. If my biggest problem is Robert Sanchez and slightly questionable timings of substitutions, that's a jump up of levels, and it shows
yeah,
the trajectory that we're on. Because I look at the run of games. Now, I don't think we're going to be in a title race. And if Chelsea end up in a point where I believe we're in a title race, I'm cooking the entire league for the way they've spoken about us the last few years and the fact
yeah,
that we're even in that position. Because how? Like, we haven't even been insanely consistent. There's been dodgy results in so many different games, but here we are in third. I do
yeah.
think, though, with the run of games, we have the chance to really worry a few people because Bar Villa at home, and even that one I
Tottenham as well.
expect to win in because they're a top 4 rival and that's a 6-pointer.
Tottenham away as well, probably.
Nah.
Yeah.
Play that
3-point
high
line
line
draw.
against us. Play that high line against us. I dare them.
Oh,
I dare them.
yeah,
11 men will cook them. So I am not worried about Spurs. We shouldn't be losing a single game. We shouldn't. And then, like, imagine the conversations we'll be having then because I look at Arsenal, they're going to drop points. City, they literally got Spurs and Liverpool their next 2 games. They're going to drop points. The only question mark is do Liverpool. And, like, I'm not looking at first. I'm not. I've got a lazy eye on third at the most. And that's it. So I look at the run. You could really build some confidence over the next month.
Yep. Taking away all the negatives. Look where we are in the league. The league position tells you where you are as a team. We are third in the league. If the season were to finish tomorrow, we would all be happy. He's achieving what this club needs, where he's achieving what we need to be doing as a club. We've heard. And like you said, we've got a good run of fixtures and I just feel like Leicester is the time for us to really stamp our authority on this game. I feel like with a good win coming off its international break, that confidence will start beaming for the team, and hopefully then we can go on a run now and start picking up points because it's that top 4 position that is ours to lose. I feel like Maresca's coming, he's changed so much. The players are confident, they're buying into the philosophy. Defensively on the set plays, we look totally different from last year. We're not conceding as much as set plays. He has changed the whole mentality of this team. So it's down to us now to pick up these points, push on, and keep in that top 4 place.
If you want people to actually start taking us seriously, you beat the teams that you're expected to beat. Now, we have had our little, like, iffy games, like Palace and, what's the other one? Nottingham Forest. But even then, I'm thinking, like, look, I look at both of those games. I'm just annoyed that we didn't win, if anything. I'm not annoyed about the way we played. I don't think there was too many scrubby performances. We're on the right trajectory. Just keep it up for this run because there's no reason for us not to be going unbeaten throughout the rest of this year.
I think it's back to what we said a few weeks ago. Take each game as it comes. Leicester is a cup final. Leicester is our chance to go there, give them a good hiding, because obviously the international break has kind of took us off track a bit. The Arsenal performance is decent. International break usually sometimes can knock a team back. If we overcome that, go to Leicester, treat it as a final, give them a good hiding, go on to the next game. And I can see us going in the run now. I'm confident that we can maintain this form and push on, and then get into January and we're still in top 4, and it's happy days for us. Happy days.
Same. Score prediction. How are you feeling for the game? Well, what's your score line? I know how you're feeling.
I said 3-1 when I was on this. I said 3-1, Charles. I feel like you were right. I thought like the Leicester people are getting a goal. Could be another bozo moment from Sanchez. Hopefully not. I thought that Leicester will probably get a goal. I think there's 2 or 3 in it for us. I feel like if we take our chance, there's going to be plenty of opportunities. If we take the majority of our chances, we can get 3 or 4. So I'll probably say 3-1. 3-1, Charles.
I completely agree. It's 3 or 4-1 for me as well. I'm probably just going to leave at 3-1. I could see a 4th, but like, we'll see, innit? We'll see. But I think we concede something stupid. I don't think it gives us too much of a heart attack. And then we just keep it stepping from there and we move on to the next one. But yeah, like, we had better be here for the next episode with the same vibe, because I swear down, if you man give us a banana slip, I am going to be enraged. But I don't expect that.
Yep.
I don't expect that. So let me know you guys' thoughts down in the comment section below, guys. Big up to every single one of you. And yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Up the Chelsea.